We acquired Phoenix International in 2020, but we've been in this journey towards financial services and supporting the financial services industry for 50 odd years. As a matter of fact, in just a couple of weeks, we're going to be celebrating our 52nd anniversary since being founded back in 1973. We started off as a payroll company and working with people, making sure that we could handle transactions that people rely on a monthly basis. And with the advent of technology in the 80s, et cetera, and getting into software development, that expanded. We decided to say, hey, let's expand from just payroll and see how it is we can leverage technology to help more people and serve more critical processes in enterprise customers, well, initially in Jamaica, then across the Caribbean, and now globally. MC Systems has been working on innovative solutions to meet the needs of everyday people on a daily basis for decades. We've had multiple innovations over the years. We've worked with telecoms, we've worked with government, we've worked with financial industry, and in that process, we realized that there were some very key gaps. And one of the key gaps was that we have been working with core banking systems and performing integrations for a very long time, creating those value-added channels, making sure that we can affect customer experiences for financial institutions on a daily basis. But one of the main gaps that we're missing is core banking. There's only so much that we can do by integrating and adding on, but we realized that all of the customers that we had the same issue. Very expensive core banking challenges, high operating costs, and very little ability to modify or make customizations to suit our regional cultural needs, to suit our operating environments, to suit our regulatory environments. And emerging markets on a whole are one of the most highly regulated banking environments globally. We don't have the luxuries of being a first world market. We don't have the luxury of having large populations to underwrite the cost of technology adoption. And so therefore, we have to make sure that we adopt the technology, leverage what is available, make sure we commoditize it to the point so that it is affordable for indigenous institutions, because at the end of the day, indigenous institutions actually understand what is needed on the ground and working with people on a day-to-day basis. So the main differentiator, and this is something we've shared with all of our customers for years and years, is whereas there are larger companies that offer core banking, there are some that have offered core banking for many years before us. But the fact of the matter is that they don't have that focus on emerging markets and making sure that we can meet the needs of people who are right here on the ground and the challenges faced in their operating environment. So the mission statement we have for Phoenix International is to be the catalyst for financial inclusion and fintech adoption in emerging markets globally. The reason why we have this is because we realize technology is just the enabler. The institutions we work with, financial institutions like yours, are the ones who actually implement and execute on this mission with your direct customers. Our long-term vision is to make sure that we have universal access for use of financial services as a tool to better quality of life and society on a whole. The fact of the matter is, especially when you talk about those that are underbanked, there's so many people that qualify for financial products and have no idea about it. There's so many people that would benefit from using financial products that can't access them because of either an education barrier, or maybe it is that their institution doesn't offer it directly, and other challenges. And so if we can focus on the increase for financial inclusion, provide universal access to financial products and their data through open banking, and then overcome these cultural challenges, regulatory challenges, and the other operational hurdles to just make financial services simpler, then therefore it can be that easy transaction on a daily basis where it's no longer a nuisance or a point of friction, but is just something that we can execute on a daily basis in the background. Nobody, when you wake up in the morning and you want to make some coffee and you say plug in your kettle or you turn on your stove, you don't expect it to not work. You just expect it to work. And that's how we want financial transactions to process. If you're purchasing a new motor vehicle, you shouldn't have to think, oh, am I going to get approved? How long is this going to take? Am I going to miss this opportunity? It should just be an instant decision, and you know that, hey, yes, I can access this, and this is going to make my life better going forward. So to give you a little more information on how we transitioned from the purchase or acquisition of Phoenix to today, when we purchased Phoenix International back in 2020, it was on life support. It was at end of life. We have been working with our customers to see how we could immediately meet their needs. We built out a brand new development team. We really dug deep into what emerging market needs were, as well as alongside our customers, we built a very long list of features that they must have and that would be nice to have. And during that process, we ended up releasing 10 service packs in just 3 years. But the fact of the matter is that it still was an old product. And so what we have done with i2025 is that we've upgraded the tech stack overall to focus on what matters most, which is stability and uptime. Phoenix International has a history of being the most stable part of everybody's tech stack for serving customers, and we want to maintain that that reputation and relationship with our customers. The key advantages for i2025 going forward is that we have a modernized tech stack to extend the product life. You now have at minimum 5 years worth of additional product life with the release of i2025. We've also updated our security protocols to keep up with the industry. Security is constantly changing. We've been making some adaptations, but as well, we needed to improve our product tech stack in order to meet those security needs. And then with regards to cost, a lot of our customers are considering cloud or switching to cloud. We've also provided cloud hosting options to new and existing customers. And so we now have improved support for cloud hosting to reduce those cloud hosting costs by leveraging the services in Azure for financial services and other frameworks. The thing about it is that having a newer tech stack reduces the need for a very high technical background for our developers and future product development. We have spent a lot of money building out our development team over the last 5 years. It's 1.5 million US in just modernization alone, separate from our product development efforts. And that's because we have had a great team with very strong technical background and history in financial services. But as we develop further and expand even more, we can bring on people that can upskill versus it taking us a year to bring on a new developer. We'll have them ready in 2 to 3 months. What this means is as we build out more products and more features and better serve you as a customer, we can reduce that cost of development. We're also focused on reducing operating costs over time for financial institutions based on our product roadmap. We've heard your pains, we've heard the grosses, and so we're incorporating features and workflows that will help you to become more efficient and not need as large of a team for back office operations. The main focus of all of this is to make sure that we enable you as a customer to focus on providing financial services and not on back office management. We want to work with the end customer, retail customers, and we want you to be able to provide as much focus or as much capacity towards that experience versus the management on a day-to-day basis. So as far as some other key benefits for our services, we'll continue in our banking as a service transition from just a managed service to eventually getting to a full SaaS platform. We're creating institutional advantages as far as for reliability and operating costs. We have to drive down the costs of operations. We know this, it's going to give you significant advantages going forward, providing you with more money for education and marketing, or to be even more competitive with your peers with regards to pricing. We are still working on this, how much specialized skill is required to manage core banking, as I just mentioned, and then most importantly, third-party channels. We have been providing services, we, as far as an industry, have been providing services to end customers through third-party channels. You have your online banking, your mobile wallets, etc. We are through an improved tech stack, we can now reduce the cost of integrating third-party channels, increasing the capacity for those third-party channels, making sure that it's secure, and making sure that you can offer the best experiences while leaving the core to operate as a core. So the outcomes to the upgrade, when you choose to upgrade, is that you have improved transaction processing capabilities through both the teller interface and the API. We have reduced operating costs for cloud-hosted environments and higher capacity overall by integrating the Azure services, and we have our extended product life supporting newer hosting environments. And I just want to double down here on support. I think, well, to my knowledge, Phoenix International is one of the few firms that when you call our support hotline, it does not send you to a recording or a machine or a menu. It goes directly to one of our support engineers. Call 10 o'clock in the morning, you call 2 o'clock in the morning, it's still going directly to a support engineer who's on call and ready to assist you directly. That is a massive difference over our competitors. And from a team perspective, again, we have 4 main teams: our software engineering team, our support engineers, our product management team, and we have our project management and professional services team, who we are continuing to develop to provide best-in-class service to you and to meet your needs where necessary. The real end goal that we have here with i2025, and we're just at the beginning, is that we want to make sure that we can support our path to embedded finance and microservices. We want to make sure that financial services are entered into daily activities as an enabler. So imagine retail lending, you're going to go and buy a new appliance. Instead of, say, only having the option of using your credit card to finance that, you could get financing from that store directly. But the store itself, that merchant does not have to manage an entire lending process. They could rely on your institution's lending capacity and just enable that as a service, as a microservice to that merchant and the end customer. We're looking at how to leverage more fintech partnerships. Fintech, especially in emerging markets, is, again, a very highly regulated activity. And so we want you as an institution to be able to offer your regulatory stack to fintech companies and be able to process transactions or other activities on their behalf via your stack and via the API. For mortgages and other regular retail lending, again, how is it that we can improve that experience, improve the speed of adjudication, and improve the speed to disbursement? And then finally, for universal spending, again, we want to make sure that payments are handled securely and hassle-free on different networks, whichever channel that you'd like, through different processors and using different institutions. And the only way to get this universal payment framework is to just make sure that we can integrate payment networks and payment processors as easily as possible through our API. So I've been up here for a while now, but I just want to give you a quick summary of all that we've been doing and what we're going to be continuing to develop over the next couple of years. And again, as Olivia had mentioned earlier, we're open. Let's have a conversation. If you heard some things here that you'd like to see right now, I mean, we'll probably have it available in the release. If not, very soon afterwards. And if you haven't heard some things that are very key to you as far as your strategic roadmap or goals, let us know so that way we can add it to the roadmap and reprioritize. We are a small organization working with you, and so therefore just talk to us. We can adjust, we're dynamic, we're nimble, and we can meet your needs wherever you are. So thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Dimitri, for that very insightful presentation and for painting a picture of where we were, where we are, and where we intend to go. We'll be sharing Dimitri's presentation in the chat with everyone so that you'll have access, and we'll also be sending it out after. Now it's time to take your questions. We are fielding questions in person as well as online. We're asking persons in the chat to just type in your questions, and I'll read them on screen and ask for them to be answered. But let's start in person. Does anyone here have any questions that they'd like to ask the Phoenix team? Crystal clear? 1 second, please. Let's get you a microphone. Right, so that our colleagues online can hear you.
Morning, everyone. Thank you very much for the invitation. Ricardo here from Jane Bank.
Thank you, Mr. Diston. Welcome.
Thanks for that. All right, i2025, and I mean, it's great to be here and I'm glad to hear about it, but as a customer, what exactly are you giving me? Because it's like if I walk into the showroom down the road and then let us say I have a 2020 Audi and they're trying to sell me the 2025, they're going to tell me, so boy, it have this feature, you can talk to me. Or if I go down to Jet Tour now, I hear say it's basically an AI, I'm driving it. So I want to know because payments is changing, Dimitri, as you know. We have ACH faster payment coming on. We just launched the JNPay wallet, which uses Phoenix as the backend. We're moving more to cloud, as I hear you mention it. Is it going to cut my costs? Is it that I'm getting new features? Is it a new interface for my front ends, for the frontline staff? Tell me, what exactly should I expect?
Right. So if we use their allegory with a motor vehicle, right? So what we have is, and you'd call it a major upgrade. So we've upgraded, say, your engine and entire drivetrain. So the back end, as far as the versions of the development frameworks we're using before, are now upgraded to the latest one. That would be for both Gupta and for .NET to allow faster processing, because we were very far behind before. And so by doing this upgrade, it then enables a lot more options. So whereas you'd only, well, Ricardo, you've seen the limitations in Phoenix before. I think you're probably one of the, yeah, you're our most advanced customer when it comes on to our API, and you know the limitations that are there. We could not expand it with the old tech stack. But with the new tech stack, a lot of the things that you have been asking for directly are now available, and we've also started building that out. Interfaces we're still working on. We will be having a new teller interface, a new teller application released later on this year. It's not available in i2025 right now yet. But the fact of the matter is we had to upgrade the drivetrain before we could do anything else. And so it's really the focus on tech stack first to allow us the capacity to add on new functionality and features based on what the entire customer group has been asking us for. With regards to the cost management and cloud, etc., again, because of the old tech stack, we could not use certain services. So for example, hosting in Microsoft Azure, now we can use, say, Azure SQL services directly rather than having a hosted Microsoft SQL server and keeping that separate, which allows us to reduce the layers in the tech stack and again improve the capacity for service, but also more importantly reduce that cost, because the usage per server is now going to be cut down, and so you have increased capacity, increased speed, and reduced costs for those transactions.
So basically what you're saying, the foundation is now solid, it's future proof. It can
Correct.
take me another 5 years, and it also set the base where the other functionalities that we would like, we can now start to build on this.
Correct.
Right? And in addition to that, you can now utilize different technology available, such as cloud hosting and those stuff, which will ultimately drive down the costs.
Yeah,
all right. So in terms of the end user, in terms of the new products and the service, we're not quite there, but we're now lay the foundation to get there eventually and to continue with that.
Correct. Including and especially upgrading our security protocols for third-party transactions.
Okay.
So
okay.
for your digital channels that are integrated, you now have improved security for those integrations.
Okay. Interesting you touch that. I know as the BOJ evolve in terms of the payment space, I'm seeing more and more things require PCI regulations now. Like for even we're doing the wallet, you know. So you're saying these type of encryption, these standards, the system would now by default
have them.
Okay, that's great news. Thank you very much.
No problem.